Oh. Ooh, fell too far forward on that one.
Okay, so we'll just put our bike to the side here, in case anyone comes. We do, at downhill places, you gotta be super careful. Yeah, super common. Okay, just setting the Strava. So we're always thinking, side of the trail. I would say try and remind me because I'm horrible at standing in the center. So some people will like get really like off in the grass and really outside because they get nervous here. This isn't that hard to make this. And so all I think when there's something really technical, I try and think of it as in parts, because sometimes it's like, well, you could definitely do this part, but it's when we look down there, you're like, holy crap. So it's like just thinking to that ledge, pretend the trail just went straight, you know, back out onto the ski hill, and it was this little, you know, dip down, you know, beside the rock, right? You can hit that little notch, and then you're on this nice flat, like it's perfectly flat, right? It might even go a little uphill for a second, right? So it's not that bad. So it's this little chute, and all we get nervous about is that, you know, oh, this looks steep. I can see way down there. But if we just focus here, put a wall up, right? All we have to do is put our wheel on this little notch, you know, right here, and then I come down. This thing's been moving around all day. And then we're here, okay? Why don't you guys walk right down, so find the notch. Keep our ears.
Here to here.
Yeah, and you can go over the rock too, it doesn't really matter. You decide what you're doing. Now here, we agree this is flat.
It is.
Yep.
So then your only challenge is, can you do this little drop? You know, again, if we saw this somewhere else, you guys would be like, this is just a dirt roll down.
Yeah.
It's really not that bad. And we're flat, we're safe. You know, we can slow right down here using those brakes, right? If you think about our brake in the field up there. And now here, we're thinking in this, you know, we're in, again, this little groove. And then it's just trying to keep our eyes where we want to go, right? So I'd be braking, and then you might be trying to just leave, you know, get off the brakes a bit as you get into it. But you can really brake and go right down this. It's very benched. It's the traction.
This was me the first time.
What? How did you get over there? But that's the idea. If we're nervous about it, we can break it out into chunks. We can walk it like we just did. Take a look. Debate on lines. And then the first time, we just try and do it pretty slow. Right? Nice and control, nice and control, nice and control.
Yep.
Over braking, especially in these, like right here, you could go right to a track stand. And in BC, you'd do this all the time. It'd be like complete track stand at the top, and then like, brrr, and then like for complete track stand, look over it, and then,
okay.
and in we go. Okay, so I'm just coming in here, and I'm thinking notch, and then brakes, heels, looking, brakes, heels.
Brake seals.
Brake seals.
Okay. So now think, how was that? What could you do? So that sounded like a lot of rear brake. Yeah. Right, so remember the front brake? Stay above the bike.
Nice, nice. Woo. Shit. Did the same thing.
What was the same thing?
Too much rear brake, not enough front brake.
It does feel a little scary to use the front brake that much, but
Yeah.
you do it and it's fine.
Ooh.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so it's like this. It's not really that bad, but it definitely looks. So I guess people would just send it. Like I don't. Like way down to that one. But I don't understand how you wouldn't just run into the ground on the other side, right? Like how you don't just plow into that sand.
Right.
Anyhow, what we're sort of focused on, this is very common in BC, right? Where it might be like a rock and then like a
Really
steep
steep
roll
thing,
out,
yeah.
right? So it's pretty cool. Really not that bad. So I just think we're coming in nose, you know, over that handlebar, and then it's just sort of a little on weight, and I'm just putting the front wheel into the drop.
If you get too much speed here, like you're just gonna go flying into the.
Yeah, and that's
And
probably the
yeah.
middle ground thing would be like a bit of a pre-jump, or
Yeah.
and you could land on this no problem, right? It's nice and smooth. So you could actually treat this almost like a log that's on a downhill, jump from about these rocks, and miss this whole thing, right? But we're just gonna try and roll down it, right?
Yep.
It's just a little scary coming in the first time, but
Nope.
yeah, that's good rolling too. And so what I think you're finding on both those is if you're too far back, before the drop, once you're on the drop, you can push the bike ahead of you. But if you put the anchor out, then your rear wheel's heavy, and that's what gets caught.
Yep. I skidded my.
Not even
bum off
skid,
of
but
it.
as you go, the first one, right? If you think about that first one, there's a lip, you're going. If you put the anchor back, then it gets heavy and gets caught, and then that's what sort of wants to like buck you, right?
Yeah,
and you get
my
that
wheel buzzed me on the one that you were watching. Yeah. Did it buzz you on your pants, bro?
Yeah, I did. Definitely.
Yeah, and so I don't think you need to be that far back, right? You can just
Okay.
do sort of over top and just like unweight, right?
Oh no. Ah.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, that one you were really good on. That other one that's super sketchy, the one up higher that was that.
So, it's hit or miss. Sometimes I get scared. I'm like way over the back, and sometimes if I'm in it, I feel pretty confident.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So this is a rock garden. It's a great one. This would be a situation where like a massive bike, you just plow through this
Yeah.
and you don't even notice
Right.
it, right? But again, I'm trying to stay off the brakes because what people will do is they'll like suddenly brake and you get caught in a hole, right?
Yeah.
So I try and think about, sometimes a boat like going over waves is a good like thing to think about, and just trying to help the bike like stay up on top of the rocks, right? And you guys were on a great line. You stayed high, entering in. You can see, this is sort of what people have ended up doing, where they sort of just like bounce wherever you end up, and you're just trying to like unweight,
Yeah.
trying to help the bike, trying to stay off the brakes, trying to keep your eyes, and all we're trying to do is get out and sort of ride towards this rock.
Ah. Come on. There we go.
Oh, good. So I would like to see a little bit more centered. You're both a little far back, so that rear wheel gets heavy, right? It's a balance.
Okay.
We want that front wheel to keep bouncing over stuff, but we don't want the rear wheel to get caught.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right? So Ryan, now that you know, it's sort of thinking about leaning into it or being more aggressive.